Hello out there, this is me, the Undead Viking, and this is Into the Dead. Into the Dead is a competitive zombie game. No, it is not cooperative, and that's something I actually really appreciated about this. This wasn't a game where it was like, let's all work together and try to save ourselves from the zombie menace. No, this is a game where you and the other players are trying to get from point A to point B, and you're trying to get there in a way that is going to, one, let you survive, and two, manage to get more points than anybody else. Along the way, each player is going to get a chance to play the zombies, and they're going to move the zombies around the board and try to, do things that are going to stop the players and, eat them up and prevent them from being able to either A, reach the end at all, or B, do it in such a way that they're not going to score a lot of points in the process. So let me show you how this is played, and we'll come back here and I'll give you my final thoughts. Sweet. Alright, so this is Into the Dead. I'm going to explain to you exactly how you play the game and the goal of the game and how you win the game as well. My understanding is that you can make this game kind of modular, or you can make it as long as you want or as short as you want. In this case, I have set it up for a short game. We only have 2 game boards involved. So the players are trying to get from this side all the way to the other side. And along the way you can see there's all those zombies standing in their way. And there's some other spots on the board such as supply drops and some obstacles. And I'll explain to those as we get to that. Now there is some fantastic art that's on the background of this. You can see there's a downed helicopter here and some crash cars over. That doesn't have any effect on the gameplay at all. It's just there for immersion and for the game to look nice. And the game does look very, very nice. You can see there's a giant pile of zombies over there, and as zombies spawn, you'll be taking them out of that pool and adding them to the board as it goes along. I have set up one of the 4 players over here. That's Barton, the priest, and I've set up his board, and I'm going to kind of go through exactly what you're seeing over here, but I'm also going to use some of the other player boards that I have here to kind of just give you kind of a close-up as to what you're looking at. So you have James there, he's like the outdoorsman, I believe. We have Maggie, who is the young child, and then finally we have Helen. And all 4 of these are they're pretty much the same as far as the majority of what they have, but their starting equipment is different. You're going to have a couple of different weapons that you're going to use, and plus you're going to have a companion. You might have noticed that there's a dog behind each one of these players. The companions usually have the ability to protect you if a zombie would successfully kill you. And by kill you, I mean you will get knocked out and taken off the board, but you do get to come back. Well, not in every case, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But being slain by a zombie doesn't necessarily just take you out of the game immediately. There is a process that you go through. And I'm just going to grab Maggie's card, since I already have Barton's cards out there next to his player. I'm just going to grab Maggie's cards. So Maggie, I'll show you, has this card, and this is Max. That's her companion. And it says there on Max, it says that your ability has return your tactical grenade card from your equipment discard to your hand. And that's just his power and ability. He'll go out and grab that for you. And then you can see that Maggie's 2 weapons are a Bandit T9, and then you'll notice that 1, it tells you the damage this does, and this does 1, then it has 2 yellow dice. So when you attack with the Bandit T9, it's going to do a base 1 damage, and then you're going to roll those 2 yellow dice, and that's going to add damage, hopefully, to your total. You'll also notice that those little hexes are where you're able to aim with that T9. And then, so the other weapon that Maggie has is this G911 Enforcer, and you can see that the range is slightly different. You can only fire in the 2 spots ahead of her. It has damage of 2, and it's going to use the blue dice for that. So it's pretty straightforward as far as those are concerned. And I'll just show you. Let's go ahead and look at say Helen's cards. And so Helen, has Blitz, and Blitz is a border collie, and he has the ability is, let's see here, ability: when this companion attacks a red zombie, remove an additional red zombie. So just slightly different than what Maggie's power had. And then we'll just look at her 2 weapons. We have the Hammerhead 357. It has 2 damage and rolls 2 purple dice, and you can see the range is those 2 right in front of you again. And then we have this like sawn-off shotgun, the Brute Double. And so the damage is 1, and then you roll the 2 blue dice, and you can see there's that little shotgun spread type of range that you have for that. So you can see the characters are kind of the same, except for their equipment. That's what's going to be different. Then you're going to have a bunch of these other cards that you're going to have in your hand that are going to be both equipment and action cards that you're going to have that you're going to be able to play on your turn if you so desire. I'll talk about that a little bit more when I talk about what you do in your turn. But you play these cards, and you'll notice there is an equipment discard and an action discard there. 2 things. When you move to the next board, after you leave this board and go on to the next one, you will be allowed to pick up your action cards and put them in your hand. If your companion has been used or has died protecting you, you'll be able to like reincarnate your companion and get your dog back. You don't get your equipment cards back. So if you've used your equipment cards, you'll have to leave those in your discard. However, if you are slain and you come back, and you start over again, you do get all of your cards back, including your companion as well. So so sometimes dying, and being able to get all your stuff back, maybe that's not such a bad thing. But but the big thing is that there's these mission cards. And you'll notice I have 3 mission cards underneath Barton's character there. You're dealt 4 mission cards, you pick 3, and those are your 3 mission cards you're going to have. And these mission cards have something that you're supposed to do. So, like there's a card that is a knife card. A knife card is used if a zombie manages to catch up to you and successfully attack you. If you have the knife card in your hand, you can play it to kill the zombie instead of being killed, but then you have to discard the knife. But this says a dagger in your sheath. Reach the farm with your dagger in your hand, and then notice it's worth +5 points if you have that. Let me just grab one more mission card here. The Day of Vengeance. Kill 3+ green zombies in a single turn, and you're going to get an extra 3 victory points, or survival points as they're called in this game, if you successfully do that. So, if you get killed, you do get to respawn as long as you have mission cards left over. Now, the mission could be finished. If you complete a mission, what you're supposed to do is you just go ahead and put one of your markers on there to show that you've completed that in your turn. You are allowed to discard one of your mission cards and then restart. But if you were killed and you have no mission cards left, unfortunately, then you are out. You've been killed too many times and you've lost all your mission cards, and unfortunately, you're not going to make it. All right, so that's kind of a brief overview of what's going on as far as the player cards, the hand of cards you're going to have in your hand, and how the game gets set up. So immediately after everybody gets their player, they get their missions, they get their cards in their hand, you're going to pick one of these starting spaces. There are 6 of them. I didn't use this one or that one. And then what's going to happen is that you're going to have one person be the first player on this turn. And then the first player will revolve around the board. So the first player will do what's called the zombie turn first. So on the zombie turn, what you're going to do is you're going to determine what zombies spawn. And you're also going to determine what zombies move, and that person gets to decide all of those. So you might want to be thinking there's a little bit of a timing situation. Like if you know you're going to be the zombie master, the person that's going to do the spawning and going to be doing the zombie movement, you might feel okay with putting yourself into a precarious position where zombies might be able to come after you because of the fact that I get to pick where the zombies go. So I can kind of keep myself out of harm's way. But if it's going to be a long time before you will get to control the zombies, you may want to keep yourself kind of safe. So there are some timing things going on, which is something I will talk about a little bit later when I talk about the game itself. But I actually really like that a lot. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Now, when it is your turn to be the zombie master, what you're going to do is you're going to take these 5 dice. You notice 3 of these dice are in blue, red, and green. The blue, red, and green match up with the blue, red, and green zombies. Then you're going to have this die, which is going to have an east and west on it, which that's the shift die. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. And then finally, you're going to have this die, which has a bunch of different, I'll give you a little closer look here, it has a bunch of different numbers on there that are coming up in blue, red, and green. All right, so this die here it determines spawning, and it determines how many zombies are going to move. This die here will determine how far each type of zombie will move, and then this one, the shift die, will determine if you're going to go west or east with the zombies if they run into any sort of a barrier that won't let them move any further. So the Zombie Master's going to go ahead and roll these 3 dice, and so I can set them up like right here so I can kind of see. I got a looks like we are going to. Well, that's a lot of dice, a lot of zombies that are going to move. So I'm going to move 4 blue zombies, I'm going to remove 3 red zombies, and I'm going to remove 5 green zombies. I'm also going to spawn 1 blue zombie, I'm going to spawn 2 red zombies, and I'm going to spawn 1 green zombie. So let's go ahead and see how far they move. Oh my gosh, they're moving pretty fast. So red zombies are moving 3, green are moving 3, and blue are moving 4. And then finally, we'll see, and if they have to shift, they will shift west. Alright, so how this works is now I have to spawn the zombies. Since I just began the game, each zombie spawn point has a zombie on it. So I can't spawn the zombies directly on the parts. However, that doesn't prevent me from spawning zombies. As the Zombie Master, I'm going to get to decide where the zombies spawn, and if the zombie spawn point is covered, I can go ahead and place a zombie next to it, like a spot next to the zombie spot. So I could take this blue zombie and I could spawn it in that spot right there. So now I have 2 red zombies. Now here's the deal. You can't spawn the zombies on 2 separate boards. Meaning I couldn't put like 1 red zombie like here, and I couldn't put 1 red zombie here. I would have to put both of my red zombies on the same board. So I could go here and here, for example. Perfect. Alright, and then finally I have 1 green zombie, and I'm going to take that one, and I'm going to put that one right there. Alright, so now I have to move the zombies. So, but remember, only 3 red, so like 4 blue zombies are going to move, 3 red zombies are going to move, and 5 green zombies are going to move. So let's just start with red, and red are going to move 3. Now, zombies will move straight forward unless they hit a barrier, in which case they will shift east or west, or if it is possible on their turn to reach a human, meaning they can attack them. So if I was maybe like this player right here and I was a Zombie Master, I gotta move red. Now I could go over here and move this, but I want to move these so I can go 1, 2, 3, and I could let's see here, and then the other, let's go 1, 2, 3. Whoop, let's get the base back on there. 1, 2, 3, like so. And now we're going to move green zombies, and we're going to move green zombies 3. So let me show you how the shift works. Remember, the shift goes west, so we'll go like this, 1, and then we're going to have to shift to go, and so we go 1 like that. Now, zombies don't ever move. Zombies are always moving down. Human players are always moving up. So you can't ever backtrack with any of the pieces. So now another zombie, so we can go like 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm kind of setting myself up here in a situation because killing zombies actually gets you points. On the player card here, you can see that as you move up, if you can manage to kill 16 zombies, you're going to get an extra 4 survival points at the end of the game. So killing zombies is not necessarily a bad thing. So sometimes if you're playing, you might set yourself up in a situation where you'll be able to use your weapons to be able to hopefully, take out a multitude of zombies on your turn. Alright, so I just moved, so now we're going to go on, we're going to have to move some more green zombies. We moved, so we moved that one, so I need to move, let's see, 3 more. So we can go, like, we're going to move this one 3, move that one 3, and here this zombie is going to bump in, so he's going to shift, 1, 2, 3, and I think that's all 5 of the zombies. So now, finally, we have our blue zombies. And blue zombies are going to move a total of 4. Blue zombies are going to be fast. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm kind of setting myself up to use a grenade over here, so I'm doing that on purpose. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Now this is the situation where we would normally be shifting that way, but we can't, so we're not going to go. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 like so. Now the zombies have all moved. We spawned them, and now nobody is in danger of being attacked. Now, just to show you how the zombie attack works, I am just going to pretend, let's just say like this character was right here and right here. Now in this situation, you're going to have two of these zombies because of the fact, think of like if this zombie was here, these are the spots that they're threatening. So we're just going to put that one back there. So 1, 2, 3 like that. So this zombie threatens and this zombie threatens. So in both of these situations, the zombie master gets to take the die that represents that zombie, and they're going to get to go ahead and roll the die to see if they can take it out. So let's see if we can go. So not a hit, and let's see if we can get a hit on. So I'm going to cheat, and I roll that. Okay, bam, you get a hit. Now, what you have here is the player that runs this particular character, if they have their knife, they're able to go ahead and get their knife card, and they can discard that to kill the zombie. When they do that, they still get the credit for the kill, like so. Or what they can do is they can choose to use their companion and say their companion kills the zombie, but in the same situation they've used their companion, and they're going to have to put their companion back on their player board. And in the same situation, you'd still kill the zombie, but you would you would have lost your companion at that point. Now there are like cans of dog food you can find and stuff like that that are going to be able to respawn your companion, but that's how the zombie attacks work. Zombie attacks are pretty quickly, and they're handled quickly, which is good in my opinion because it keeps the action, the game moving forward. But so it's kind of like a press your luck type of situation. Sometimes like you might think, well, do I want that zombie close to me, or so I can maybe kill it and get some like survival points, things like that, things to consider. But that's how the zombie turn works. I should mention, I apologize, I did explain one thing slightly different. Before the zombie die is rolled is actually when you decide if you're going to use your companion to take out that zombie. So you can be in a situation where, like, as I said, that press your luck, that's what I was thinking about, was that, like, when the zombie master gets ready to roll the die, you can say, you know what? My companion's going to take out that zombie, and we're not going to let you roll. You can't let your companion decide to save you after you see that they've hit you. So just keep that in mind. So that's kind of like the, ooh, do I want to do that or do I not want to do that type of situation. If a player is ever killed by a zombie, they will place their gravestone on the spot where they are killed, and that's important because if another player, or you for that matter, can go over that spot, you're going to be able to get back some equipment by going to that spot because you found the dead body of one of the survivors. And so you can only have one of those gravestones on the board at any one time, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so moving on, let's talk about the actual player turn. So the first thing you're going to do is if you died, you're going to respawn. You start on one of the starting hexes on the board on which they died. So like if you died on the second board, you start at the very end. If you died on this board, you start on that end. Then you put the companion on. The companion is always going to be in a hex behind the player. So whenever you move forward, you're going to put your companion somewhere behind the player, but they can't take up a space that somebody else is in or a zombie's in or anything like that. So keep that in mind as well. Then you take all of your action and your equipment cards back into your hand, and then you're going to go ahead and continue with your survivor turn. But so then what's going to happen on your turn is you have to move at least 2 hexes. You can't do it. Now, you can move straight forward or you can move diagonal left or right. So, like with this character, I could go 1, 2. I'm going to get these dice out of the way. With this character, I could go 1, 2, but that might not be a good idea with that zombie right there. I could go 1, 2. I could go 1, 2, but I have to move forward. I can't ever move backwards like so. So I could go like 1, 2 like that. And then I would take my companion and I place them behind it. Now, this is a completely valid spot to put your companion. This is also a valid spot to put your companion, but it has to be in one of the hexes that is behind you. Now, after the moving of 2, after you do that, you can optionally attack with a weapon, and then you can use ammo cards if you wish to help out the attack. You can play an action card to move more, and you can play any number of action cards to do extra attacks, or you can use your companion if your companion has an ability. Like Barton's companion has the ability, if you are close to a supply drop, you can send your you can send the dog to go ahead and get the supplies from the supply drop, and I'll talk about supply drops here in a little bit. But of course, any action that you use your companion for, then the companion is gone. You don't get to you remove them from the board. And then also, if you have any kind of equipment cards or anything like that you want to use, you can use that as well. Now, lots of the cards, like here you have cards like this one, like Sprint, it allows you to move 3 extra hexes. And here you have a card that says Double Tap. Make 1 extra weapon attack, but you also trigger an event. And I'll talk about events here in just a little bit as well. So when you do your turn, it's kind of tactical. You're going to try to figure out exactly what's the best possible thing that you can do. Like, so if I was in a situation where, like, I really wanted to, like, use, like, a tactical grenade. You notice that if you use this, you're going to destroy the 3 spots in front of you. So, you can use, like, also cards to do extra attacks that will allow you to, like, and you can play like multiple of these. Like, if you wanted to do multiple extra attacks, you can do so to do multiple. And then, of course, once again, you're like burning up like these ones that allow you to move extra movement. Now remember, you do get your action cards back when you move into the next board, so it is kind of one of those things where maybe when you're getting closer to the edge of the board, you might burn through a lot of your cards knowing full well you're going to get them. Some of the other cards you have are like, here's like these lure cards, like this bonfire card. Place 1 red zombie on any open supply drop and then trigger an event. You have a lure card here. Let me grab it out of the deck here. This one says Fire Trail, and you get to swap the locations of any 2 zombies, but it'll also trigger an event. Just keep in mind, events they're kind of random. Let me actually show you a couple events. So like, events will have an effect on the board in some way that is going to probably affect everybody. So, like here it says, my path to hope was blocked. Place a green zombie on every supply drop that's on the board. Or broken pieces that were left. Like it says, all players must randomly discard 1 equipment card from their hand. So, playing with fire with the event cards can be like debilitating, depending upon. But it also is one of those cool little random story immersion type things that are going on. So if you want to do attacks, and I am just going to kind of set myself up to make this easy. So one of the cool things about the weapon that Barton has is that it has this kind of this M56A tactical. You notice that it has like these 2 streams that are here, and then he has a pistol that allows him to hit the one straight in front of him. So I'm just going to kind of cheat here, and we're going to go ahead and put him like, let's just go ahead and put him right there, just so I can, well, actually, let me see here. Nope, 1 reach. So we're gonna cheat and put him right there. All right. So if he's in that spot right there, he's in a situation where he can use his MT56A to hit both of those particular zombies. Now the thing about the zombies is that some of them are easy to kill and they don't really fight very well, and some are like the red zombies themselves are big and they're beefy and they have a lot of hit points, and you don't ever like record the hit points of damage that you've done to the zombies. There's no damage counters. You either have to kill them outright, or you have to, try again. So, like, the red ones are considered zombies, are heavies, and they are considered to have 5 hit points. And the blue ones are walkers. They're the freshly dead, and they're considered to have 4. And the green ones, who do the best chance to attack, only have 3 hit points. So here we have a situation where if we wanted to try to kill both of those zombies, we have a gun that's going to do 2 points of damage automatically, meaning that, and then plus whatever 2 orange dice are going to have. But if I'm going to have a chance to defeat them, I'm probably going to need to roll a pretty good roll, or I'm going to have to use ammo to do so. So I'm going to probably end up using, double tap to do an extra attack. But with this attack, what I'm going to probably end up doing is I'm going to add 3 dice to my die roll with the spray and pray. So I can hopefully get a total, because I have a 6 and a 4, I can get a total of 10 damage and take down both of these. So I got to take these orange dice, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up rolling 5 total of these dice. I'm probably not going to pull this off, but let's see if I can get lucky here. Let's go like this, and I got a 4, 5, 6. I just need 4 more. If I can get 4 more, I'll kill both of them. This would be pretty sweet. Ah! I over-talked myself. Okay, so in this situation I have, I'm able to kill only one of them because of the fact that I did 8 total damage, and so I can kill this one, the heavy, and I can leave that one alone because it isn't really endangering me right away. So that kind of stinks, but oh well. So now I'm going to try to take out the other one, and I'm going to get 2 purple dice with the damage with my Defender D9, and I'm going to have 1 damage, and I've got to get a total of 6 with only 2 more dice. I'm probably not going to pull that off, so I'm going to go ahead and get 2 extra dice with my other extra die roll card, which is this one, the Fusillade. So I'm going to get a total of 4 dice to roll for this one. And let's go ahead and roll these 3. So I got 3 damage. I just need 1. I just need 1 more damage. 1 more damage at this die. Come on. Yeah. Actually, no, I needed more. I needed 2 damage out of that one. Well, that's probably not good because the zombie's going to be able to fight me back. Let's just see. Let's just see if it kills me. I'm not going to use my companion dog. Let's see if it kills me. Ah, it does. I'd have to use my knife card. So I'd have to go ahead and discard my knife card to kill that one. But you can kind of see how the zombie attacks work and how you fighting it works as well. Alright, so if you are on a spot with a supply drop, that's when you get to go ahead and like get bigger and better things. Works pretty simple. All you do is you draw 2 cards off the top of the supply deck and you add it to your hand. And so here we have a chainsaw, which is an awesome weapon. Basically what a chainsaw does is that when you kill any zombies you are adjacent to, or that you run, adjacent to, or run or go by, like basically on your turn. So this is a great thing to use on like a turn when you have a sprint. So you can like move like 5 spaces and you could like walk by all these zombies and just slay them all like so. And then a dog treats, which gives you another snack. So that allows you to like bring back your dog if you use them up. And you'll notice that at the bottom of these, you can see that they both have like little survival point like additions as well. So if you can keep those in your hands, they're going to be worth more. And then I just want to show you a couple other cards. So like you have like an extended magazine that allows you to add 2 dice to an attack. You also have grenades that have like, notice that like it basically will kill everything in that little circle that it's around. You can't hurt other people with grenades, however, so don't even try. And then also you have explosive rounds, another type of ammo that adds dice to your roll. So you have other options as far as those are concerned. So the game will continue until either all the players make it to the end. If you make it to the end and the other players are still going, you still take your zombie master turn, but you do not take your normal turn. You're out. You either make it to all the way to the end, or the people are slain because they aren't able to make it. Then you just total up your survival points. For your missions that you completed, you get the points for those. For the number of zombies you killed, you get those, and for any supplies you get as well. This was one of those games where I set it up and I knew that like my family would like it just because it is a very straightforward as far as the narrative of the game and everything it goes through. It's very thematic as far as like the whole zombie world as it is. And plus it doesn't really get bogged down with the whole like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world here. Let's just like talk about this long depressing story, you know. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes I just want to kill zombies. And killing zombies and racing to the end of the board, and not, you know, maybe racing to the end, but you got to stop and make sure that you're doing things along the way to get yourself the points as well, because, you know, just getting to the end isn't enough. You need to kill zombies, you need to complete your missions, those sorts of things as well. So I dug it on so many different levels because it was a game that, yes, a lot of people will say the zombie theme has been overplayed or whatever, but I really feel types of zombie games have been overplayed, and yet some other genres of the zombie games just kind of haven't really been tapped, and this is one of those that did something different that I hadn't played in a while. So, but let me talk about that and more in my final thoughts. Alright, so that was Into the Dead. So when I was playing this the other day, last time I played it before I started doing the video, I was playing with my buddies, and there was a guy that normally doesn't play with us very often, and he just said, hey, this is that game that's on my phone. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, there's like a game called Into the Dead on my phone. And I was like, what? So I guess this is like based on, or I don't know, at least the theme or whatever, like some hugely popular mobile game. I had never heard of it, which, sweet, cool. That shows you how much of a, whatever, Luddite, grognard, whatever you want to call it. I don't play a lot of games on my phone. I play video games. I'm not like, I have a PlayStation 4. I play stuff. I play like things on my computer. But my phone, I don't know, little screen, old eyes, that kind of thing. But I guess it's based off that. So if you're a fan of that thing, I'd love to hear about the game. I've never played it. I don't know if it's anything like this at all. I'd love to know, because if it is like this, I probably might play it on my phone, because this game's a lot of fun. Now, I mentioned a couple things that I really liked. I just want to say, one, I really appreciated the fact that the game was played competitively. There's so many Zombie Menace games out there, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but there's so many Zombie Menace games that are like, oh, we must all bundle together and we need to, save ourselves from the horrible menace, the horrible disease, the zombies. Let's all work together, and and the game escalates. I mean, one of my favorite games of all time, Z-Pocalypse, is like, that's an older school game, basically because that one, I'm not going to talk about that, but that was like that was a cooperative game where everybody was trying to work together to save themselves from zombies, and I enjoyed that. I still play it fairly often. But one of the things is that, so it was a competitive game, but the way the competition was set up, I like the way it was set up, because, yes, you want to be able to slow other people down. You want zombies to attack the other players. You want to knock them off. You want to get rid of those missions, right? And hopefully maybe you kill them enough times that they just never make it to the other end of the board. But when you put zombies in front of them, when you actually like set them up, like if they have a chainsaw or they have a grenade or things like that, you're just kind of handing them points. So you have to kind of pick and choose your moments, and you have to kind of gamble that those things will work out in your favor. So I did kind of like that as well. It's like, oh, I want to stop you, but I don't want to stop you. So I like that little seesaw of the decision that you have to make in those situations. The whole thing about the game was that it was so straightforward and so just wonderfully smashed and killed the zombies. I found myself just kind of gleefully enjoying my turn when it got to be my time to like race my guy forward and try to take out like zombies, or just try to avoid the zombies. There was like that moment of apprehension, and like the stuff where, oh my gosh, do I use these cards right now? I mean, like, am I gonna have the cards that I need to do it? If you have like that mission where like you have to survive to the end and still have your knife in your hand, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want the zombies ever to get close to me. So even though you have to move forward too, I was finding myself not using any of those movement points forward. I was making sure the zombies took as long as they could to get to me. But man, you do not want to be the last person left on the board and everybody else has a zombie turn, because there's only one thing to eat at that point, and it is just wave after wave of zombie, and that makes the game really, really tough. But it makes for fabulous stories and fabulous like cinematic moments that obviously happen in your head as the game is played. So the game plays quickly, it plays straightforward, and it's just one of those things where you can kind of turn your brain off a little bit. And every once in a while I want a game that's like that, and every once in a while I want a game that's like that. It is a really, really cool theme, and whether you like it or not, maybe a lot of people are saying, oh, the zombie theme's played out. Well, you know what, this put a breath of fresh air on the zombie theme for me. I really, really enjoyed this, and so did my family and so did my friends. So if you have any questions about Into the Dead, ask away. I'll be happy to answer those as best as I can. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Until next time, I'm telling you, go out and be the best version of you that you possibly can be. I guarantee you that if you put love out there into the universe, love's going to come back. And you know what? We only get one trip, so make it the best one you possibly can have. Until next time, this is me, the Undead Viking, telling you you're awesome. Alright, talk to you later.